Terence Crawford's pride is effing up his and Errol Spence Jr.'s money, says Teofimo Lopez.
To everybody ringside, and they expect this one to be a barn burner.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Cardinal Red Sports. Let's talk about it. Alright, so does Terence Crawford have a pride issue? Is pride keeping Terence Crawford from making the best decision for his career and Errol Spence Jr.'s career? Because the decisions that Terence Crawford makes are not only affecting him, but they're affecting Errol Spence Jr.'s career as well. We all know Errol Spence Jr. desperately wants out of the 147 division. He does not enjoy making 147 pounds anymore. He feels like his body has outgrown the weight, and he just wants to get the undisputed fight over with, get the Crawford fight over with, decide who is the best out of those two. We all know it will most likely end up in a rematch or possibly a trilogy. And I think that's the way Errol Spence wanted to leave the division. He wanted to go out either on his best fight at 147 or on his biggest win at 147. And both of those could have been accomplished by taking on Terence Crawford. But in the meantime, you have to deal with Terence Crawford. You have to deal with the guy who was spoon-fed basically by Bob Arum and given pretty much everything that he wanted by Bob Arum and Top Rank Boxing. Had pretty much every fight that he had under Top Rank go in his favor when it comes to the money, when it comes to the venues, when it comes to the level of competition. Bob Arum basically put it all in Crawford's hands. And now you're dealing with a fighter, a good fighter, who's had tremendous success at lower weight classes, moving up to a higher weight class where he doesn't really run the weight class, but he has one of the biggest names in the weight class. And he's kind of playing a role of not the bully, because I can't call Terence Crawford a bully because he's not fighting tough competition. So you can't say he's really out here bullying people at 147. But he's kind of like the bully in the background. He's the bully that talks a lot but never fights anybody. He's the bully that, he's kind of like the spoiled bully. You know, when everybody's had that friend that they're like the spoiled kid. They're the ones who got everything, and they talk a lot. You know, their mouth can lead them down a road that ends with a butt kicking. And you know, everybody has those type of friends, and I kind of consider Terence Crawford one of those type of guys. He's the rich kid in the room. He has a little bit of talent, but his mouth is bigger than his talent is. And sometimes he can allow his mouth to get him in trouble and talk him into things he really doesn't want to do. I definitely feel like the Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford fight is something that the boxing world wants. I'm not sure if it's something that Terence Crawford actually wants, because most fighters that are pursuing a fight of that magnitude are going to jump on it at first glance. The first time it's offered to them, they're going to be on that fight. But with Terence Crawford, it's almost the complete opposite. He'll talk about it, he'll scream about it, he'll demand it, and as soon as he gets it, it's like, what do y'all think I want this fight for? Why do y'all actually think I want this fight? I'm not making no money off this fight. What are you sending me this fight for? And that's kind of his attitude about it. And when you think about it and what Teofimo Lopez said, that's pride effing with you. That's pride coming up. That's your pride telling you that, you know, I deserve to be in a higher position. I deserve this. I deserve that. But in the back of your mind, you know your talent level won't carry you past Errol Spence's talent level. And I think that's the real problem. I think that it's pride. I think that it's a little bit of being a spoiled rich kid. You know, even though Terence Crawford didn't grow up as a spoiled rich kid, in boxing, he's a spoiled rich kid thanks to Bob Arum. And, you know, Bob Arum, I think, even gets a bad rap in this situation. You know, Bob Arum is not the best promoter ever in boxing, don't get me wrong. The man has done a lot of harm to a lot of fighters' careers. And I definitely think he could have taken totally different paths with a lot of fighters' careers that could have made them a lot more money and a lot more famous. But I do believe in the situation when it comes to Terence Crawford and Crawford labeling Arum as a racist and all these things. I think Arum has a bad rep when it comes to Terence Crawford, and Arum not only tried to prop Crawford up as the best, but he paid him as the best. You know, he promoted him as the best. He talked about him like he was the best. This is the same guy who said Terence Crawford would beat all the top welterweights in the same night. I mean, if it don't get more confident than that in your fighter, you know. So it kind of struck me as strange when Terence Crawford labeled Arum as a racist and labeled Arum all these things after Arum had put you in all these wonderful positions and tried to make you the top dog at 147. You kind of turned your back on him and showed what pride will really do to a person, because I don't think it had anything to do with Bob Arum not securing Terence Crawford the Errol Spence fight. I think it had more to do with Arum not wanting to up Terence Crawford's pay in the contract renegotiation process, and Arum finally realizing the type of person he was dealing with, which is why he came out and said what he said about Terence Crawford not being able to command his own career and Terence Crawford being hard to work with. And we're all seeing the result of that. We're all seeing the result of Terence Crawford's pride effing with him, and Terence Crawford perhaps knowing in the back of his mind that Errol Spence is just that much more talented than him. And, you know, it's crazy that that's coming from Teofimo Lopez, because both of those guys were on top rank at one point, and both of those guys were under Bob Arum. Both of them are no longer under Arum. I believe Teofimo Lopez left Arum. I don't know who he's with at the moment. I don't really follow Teofimo like that anymore, but I don't think he's under Bob Arum anymore. So, you know, if he felt like if Bob Arum was really this villainous, racist character that Terence Crawford tried to portray him as, I definitely think that Teofimo Lopez would have had something to say about that, because he's not white either. He is a Hispanic male, and I don't understand why Bob Arum would have treated him any better than he treated Terence Crawford. Now, the talent levels are much different, so there would be a gap within, you know, how much they got paid because of the talent level and the weight classes, the differences in the weight classes. But both of those guys were talented, and I think if Arum was racist to one, he would have been racist to the other one. So that would have came out. And at the end of the day, I think the whole reason that Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. is not going to happen is mainly based on pride. It really has nothing to do with money. It really has nothing to do with Errol Spence being afraid, or Errol Spence and PBC lowballing Terence Crawford. It has everything to do with Terence Crawford's pride. And, you know, that should be obvious to everybody at this point, because of the way Terence Crawford has behaved in the past when it comes to his promoters, when it comes to contracts, when it comes to taking big fights. Hey, the Manny Pacquiao fight, Terence Crawford ducked that fight so many times I can't even count it. And that fight could have made his boxing career. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that down in the comment section. Hit that like button for me. Share. Subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. More than likely to get a response on the tube. Holler at me over there.
I mean, he's got the perfect platform, the perfect form for it. The guy's walking in right now, not moving his head much. He can time him, he can counter him.
Reed's doing a nice job being comfortable on the outside. Oh, he took some damage, but he gave some back with the right hand. Bell's putting forth that hard work he did in training camp there, landing a crisp combination.
Good job.
Reed's feeling the sting of that big uppercut. That's a good left hand by Reed. Reed's combination punching is working well here.
Keep moving! Keep moving!
He missed with that headshot. That is a big right hand after eating one himself. Nice two-punch combo by Reed. He's showing what a skilled fighter he is with this counterpunching. Basic but beautiful jab right hand. The start of the 6th round. Reed's dominance in the first half of this fight was pronounced. Now, as this round begins, a new task for him. Finish up the second half of this fight just as strong.
Yeah, that's a good point, Joe. His enemy is not only the guy in front of him, but it's being that he's got such a lead. You know, his enemy is having such great success so far. Does it get him a little bit into a lull? If he gets into a lull now, he could blow that first half of the fight what he's done so well.
They trade shots. He comes back with a right hand. Bell's gone into a defensive shell, but that shell has cracks in it.
Yeah, it does, and the reason why it's getting cracked is because his opponent is confident that with those earmuffs on, you know, going into that peekaboo defense that he is, he knows he's handcuffed. So he's putting together 3, 4, 5 punches where normally he would only throw 1 or 2, worried something's going to come back.
Worked out really well, throwing off the right hand after getting tagged like that. Took a shot, now he gives a left. Boxing 101, jab followed by the straight.
That's okay. Pay him back.
A smart and resourceful uppercut by Bell. Bell's proving to be elusive. That is Boxing 101. A nice, crisp combination by Reed.
Duck at him!
The action starts up again, but it's only favored one man. Hard to see this fight going the distance based on what we've witnessed so far.
Keep working the body. Keep working the body.
Bell's work rate is very high. I looked at the punch stats, and you can see that he's a busy guy. I don't think he's an effective guy, though. A lot of these aren't landing.
Well, you have a reason to think that, Joe. Guess what? I agree. They're not landing.
All right, let's do it.
Good 1-2 by Reed.
Let's go. Get him, get him. Put hands up.
Bell's on the receiving end of a very good counterpunch. Nice, crisp 1-2 combination by Reed. Reed's doing well, sticking to a game plan on the outside. Reed's movement's really helping him out, avoiding that punch. He took a shot, but he gives one of his own. A left hand scores.
Now protect yourself.
Reed's putting his punches together now. That's a nice count. Huge right hand comes crashing home. There it is. He was able to down again.
You missed it yet.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Bell's back up on his feet. Let's see what he has now. Targeting that straight left hand. Bell's Bell's wanting the counterpunch here, but that doesn't seem the route to go here in this fight, Teddy.
No, he has to be honest with himself and see that. But, you know, people under pressure in all walks of life, you know, in the ring especially, you see it right away. You kind of...
He is damaged badly there. He may hit the floor. Did you see that? Perfectly executed. Look at Teddy's scorecard. It's easy to see. Reed's in prime form tonight. He's out punching his opponent consistently.
Yeah, it's easy to see why he's using that jab. That jab is opening the door to a lot of things.
Takes one, but gives one. Good work by Bell. Bell's sticking to his game plan, regardless of the fact that he's been down in this fight.
Yeah, and one threat you could compliment him for, Joe. You could say he understands who he is. He understands his identity. He's going to win or lose with that. But on the other hand, there are some changes he has to be aware of.
Bell's Reed's hurt by that. Bell's doing what every trainer wants to see their fighter do. Land punches in bunches. The combination lands. Well-placed counterpunch by Bell. He missed by a mile. That wasn't even close by Reed. Reed's landing a combination here. That's what he does when he's at his very best. And a smart counterpunch by Bell. He returns the favor with a right hand of his own. Very accurate two-punch combo by Reed. Oh, you see him with the left of the head there? That's a forceful two-punch combo by Reed. Start up again, back to action here with another round, but who knows how much longer it'll last. This has been a completely one-sided fight. Reed's favorite punch is the jab, and tonight he's loving it.
Well, the jab is the table setter, Joe, and he set a beautiful table tonight. Napkin on the left, you know, small fork on the left, knife on the right, and the food right in the middle. And he's eating all night.
You taking some English etiquette classes?
You getting hungry?
Well-targeted two-punch combo by Reed. Reed's the kind of boxer that wants to do just that. Find the target, get the combination working, land both punches. Oh, and there you go. Bell's down after... Of legend right now. He is hurt badly, but still he fights on.
You know, this is what Customato, my mentor, used to talk about. He used to say, Teddy, when you got two tough guys, but one's a little smarter, well, then he becomes twice as tough.
Reed's doing something that not everybody appreciates, but he is making his defense a major factor in this fight.
Yeah, well, a lot of times people, you know, they only get it done on one end. What I mean about that is, you know, offensively, they use the jab, they use aggression.
And just like that, things turn around. A back and forth round. Both men have been rocked.
This is what boxing's about. This is what battle is about. This is what human spirit is all about.
That's rushing two-punch combo by Reed. 10th and final round underway. Return to sender. He gives him back one of his own. Nicely timed 1-2. Bell's got to be really careful there, Teddy. I mean, he's leaving himself wide open.
And what's going to happen next? See, you know, he's leaving himself open. He hasn't paid for anything yet, but that will be coming before you know it.
Reed's not just loading up, he's landing combination. Oh, and a big right hand lands. Uncle Mo has come to visit. Momentum is now on his side. He's losing a point here.
I warned you about your head.
Again.
One
the
point.
referee's seen enough. He's taken away a point. Solid. Can he beat the count?
I got that saying, falling like a sack of potatoes.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And it's over. This fight is over.
It is Barlos. Bounce, come on, bounce, bounce, come on, bounce, bounce, come on, bounce, bounce.
And we are
It's your boy Louis Keys, spitting game. The hoes get dames, I close and let flames out fofos. And they swallowing the ski, they be loving the meat, loving the beat. Niggas with beef, ducking the heat. I'm running the streets, spitting hot flows off top. Sicker than cough drops. When I start, y'all stop. Lick shots, hoes drop. I always been real, hitting like a bitch's brick, busting through your windshield. You're talking crazy, you shouldn't act so silly. I leave your head cracked like at Bell in Philly. But it's no brotherly love, just mothers with hugs. Cause her son's under the rug with one in his mug. Look, it's Lou Dash down with red and blue flags. Better move fast, leave you looking like you chew glass. If we do clash, when I'm out for my pay, it'll get ugly, nigga, so let's get out my way. I said if you's a pimp made nigga, just like me, you's about your figures. Never see me stressing out over women. Either get up out your clothes or hit the door. I said if you was a pimp made nigga.